Welcome to part 2 of Sunshine Kisses and Fairy Wishes. This is Dawn's Bamboo Garden section. The first thing we need to do is make sure you've read your notes, and also notice the bold statement at the beginning of row 1, just above it. It says join with the wrong side facing up. This is my right side, so we are joining, flip it over, and we're joining on the wrong side. And we're starting with a standing single crochet in the first stitch. Rotate your pattern, your work here, and look for that first stitch. Get yourself into there and make a standing single crochet. Now if you're just continuing your colours, these are the awkward bits where you have to cut and rejoin after you've made across the miles, because we are starting on the other side. So there's some decisions there for you. Alright, easy row, just single crochet all the way down. Nothing to it. Oops, don't split the loops if you can help it. Keep your stitch count going. Make sure you end up with 216 single crochet. Get to the end. Get into your last stitch here, and the end of this row is chain 2 and turn. Alright, and I'll see you for the beginning of row 2. Easy. Row 2, we have our chain 2 at the end of row 1, and then we flip, and the note tells you that you are now on the right side of your blanket, which is correct. There's my stitch. My reminder, not stitch marker, it's a reminder that this is the right side of my work. So I hope you've got one of those too. Now, the chain 2 counts as our first double crochet, or you can use a starting stitch if you're continuing. I need to put a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's that one and that one. You can see them clearly from the back. 1 double crochet in the next 2. So that technically gives me 3 with the chain. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we have a full repeat here to do all the way down the line. It says skip 2 stitches and then make 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So I'm going to be making double crochet, so yarn over, skip 2, and in the next stitch 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. Oop. Sorry, I split it. There we go. And 2 more. There we go. Total of 4 double crochet and a chain 2 into that stitch. So we've skipped 2, 1, 2, easily identifiable. Now we skip 2 stitches again. That's the next thing. So skip, skip, and we make 1 double crochet in each of the next 7. Skip, skip, and 1 double crochet. This is another easy repeat. The testers have gone to great lengths to make sure that it's an easy repeat to remember, number 1. Number 2, that it's adjustable for any width, so that your multiples are the only things you need to change, just add or subtract multiples. And that you can also just continue to repeat sections if you want to make a longer blanket. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the end of the repeat. Started here with the double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet shell. Skip 2 on either side of that shell, 7 double crochet in a line, and then start again. Skip 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet in the next stitch. Skip 2 more, 1, 2, 1, 2 there, and 7 double crochet in a row. That's your whole repeat all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so now I've made 2 repeats, and that's what it looks like. Just when you're working and you're holding your work, stitches bunch. So don't just put it down and think, oh, it's all curly. brush block it, what I call brush blocking. Spread it out, make sure the stitches go where they're supposed to go so you can see if they're sitting in the right positions. Don't just throw it down and then get panicked because you think it's out of shape. It's going to be out of shape because you're holding it. Right, so that's the second repeat finished here. So if you, for the full pattern, you need to make it 17 times. You're going to make this repeat. I've made 2. Then at the end, I'll meet you up down here, somewhere over here, after your 17th repeat, and we'll finish the last repeat and then finish the end of the row and turn. All right, I'll see you down there 17 times and I'll meet you for the 18th. Right, so when you finish 17 repeats, you land here. And if you count, you should have 9 stitches left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have exactly 9 stitches left. And here's what we do with those. We start with a shell. So skip 2, 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet in the next stitch. Like that, just like normal, like you're starting an 18th repeat. Then we skip 2 again, 1, 2, and we just put 1 double crochet in the last 4 stitches. There, and there's my 4th, which is my starting chain. Always a little bit, oops, I've got my yarn over. A little bit tight getting into that starting chain, starting stitch sometimes. And that's the side, okay? And notice we finish with 4 double crochet at this end, but we do start with 3, the chain plus 2. Alright, there is a subtle difference there. Okay, and the only thing you need to do now to finish off the row is make a chain 2 and turn and get ready. Now I'm not working away my tails at this point because I haven't decided where I want to work them. I'm not sure if I want to work them into the rows or if I want to try and conceal them down the sides. At some point inspiration will strike and I'll figure it out. Alright, that's the end of row 2. If you haven't finished it, finish it now. Make sure when you get to the end you have 9 stitches left after your last repeat. Skip 2, shell, skip 2, so that's 5 stitches there, and a double crochet in each of the last 4. Chain 2, turn, and then we'll reconvene for row 3. Row 3. Now our chain 2 counts as our first half double crochet. Alright, then we need another half double crochet in the second stitch. That's basically into your second double crochet here that you can see. Oops, it's a half double. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops. Okay, half double. Now we're going to take this step by step because there's a lot of little bitsy things happening here. So the first thing we're going to do is 1 back post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. That's your last 2 double crochet here of the 4. Back post double crochet. Take it slow the first time. And if you're splitting your stitches like I am, it slows you down even more. Back post double crochet around the next 2. So we have a half double, that's a chain 2, half double, and 2 back post double crochet. Now we're going to start the repeat down the line. First we're going to skip 2 stitches, that's the 2 double crochet of the shell. And in the shell, in the chain 2 space, we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. There we are. So we're just going to build the shell inside the previous one. And now we're just going to do 7 back post double crochet. So 1 back post double crochet around each of these stitches. You skip 2, you skip the 2 double crochet of the shell, and we just back post double all the way over here around each, oops, I've got too many loops on my hook, around each of these double crochet, the 7 double crochet below, make 1 back post double crochet. It's a yarn over, up from the back, down from the top, and a back post double crochet. I'll do these all and start the next repeat for you. This is number 6 and oops, number 7. There. Now this is the back of the work, remember, We are now on a backward run. So from the front, these stitches look like they're in a row. This ridge needs to be at the back. If you can see this ridge, it has to be at the back of your work. Okay, so once you've completed the 7 back post double crochet, that's the end of the repeat, and you start again. And you start by skipping 2 and starting a new shell. 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. 1 and 2, and then you skip the rest of the shell, those 2, and you start back post double crochet in each of the 7 stitches beside the shell, after the shell. I won't do all of these. Oops, I keep slipping anyway. So let me just stop and show you. So here we are building up these shells, and in between we're going to have these back post double crochet. Go all the way to the end 17 times. Your 17th repeat will finish here with these back post double crochet. So I'll meet you here and we'll finish and turn. All right, so after 17 repeats, here you are right there. You will skip, we've got one final shell here, so skip those 2 double crochet, make one final shell of 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, and now what we're going to do is skip the last 2 double crochet of that last shell and make one back post double crochet in each of the next 2 only. Now we did that at the beginning too. We put 2 back post double crochet at the very start of the side. But at the end of the side, that leaves us only 1 stitch, the chain 2 of the turn. Okay, so you need to put 1 half double crochet into that chain. Now if you made a starting stitch, then you just do it into the starting stitch, but I have a chain, so I need 1 half double crochet to finish off my side there. The last thing you do is you chain 2, and turn. Alright, so check that you've put everything where it needs to go. 7 back post doubles made from this side leave you a ridge on this side, but not on the good side. So this is the front, there's my blue. On the front you don't have a ridge, and as the weight of this starts to hit, these stitches will start to lift and look like well, bamboo, I guess. That's what we're thinking of. Okay, get this one done and then we'll catch up again for row 4. Row 4 has a note saying that it may be helpful to place a stitch marker in the 4th stitch of each set of 7 front post double crochet. So we're going to be making front post double crochet in these groups where we did back post double crochet in the previous row. So grab a few stitch markers if you think you need them. But look, put one in anyway, put a few in anyway, and just so that you can earmark where you're going to be making some stitches in row 5. We're going to create new shells in row 5 in this 4th stitch, which is the center one of the 7, 3 on either side of it. And it may be easy for you to see yours with your yarn. It may not be. If it's not, use some stitch markers, grab a couple, or grab the pins, I've got them here somewhere, and mark that center stitch, the 4th one. Alright, let's get started. First we have a chain 2 here, which counts as our first half double crochet. We are immediately now going to put a front post double crochet in each of these 2 back post stitches from the previous round. So a front post this time, double crochet in each of those 2. Okay, but we start with the chain 2 for the half double. Okay. Now we're going to skip the 2 stitches of the shell, these first 2 double crochet, and make another shell inside it, into the chain space. Chain 2 and another 2 double crochet, like that. Oops. Alright. Next up, we're going to skip the 2 double crochet of the other side of the shell again, and just make a front post double crochet around those 7, just as I mentioned a moment ago. Easy to do, just front post. So all of the ridges from these post stitches, and I'll show them to you in a minute, have to go to the back. So that's how you know you're facing the right way. They should all be on the one side, which is the wrong side of your work. Just do 2 more, 1 more, and that's my 7. Okay, and this is the point at which we said if you want to, you might want to mark the 4th one. Okay, so that you've got 3 on either side of it. And if you rotate, you can see we have now created a second ridge with these post stitches. But the ridge is to the back. There's the front of my work. I've still got my little blue thread here. I'll move that up soon so I can continue to see it. Okay, that's the end of the first repeat, which started here with this shell. That's all you're going to do again, is again skip across to the chain space and make your 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 more double crochet into the chain 2 space, and then come over to the post stitches and make 7 front post double crochet in a row. I won't do them all. It's an easy peasy repeat. Mark your 4th if you feel you need to of each set. So you've got to make 17 sets of these. You will finish up here with your front post stitches, and you will make 1 more final shell. Get that one done as well, and then we'll finish up the end and turn around. Okay, I'll meet you in the shell. Repeat 17 finished here. I've made 1 more shell, like I suggested that you do the same. Now we're going to skip the last 2 double crochet of the last shell, and we're going to put 1 front double crochet in each of these 2 post stitches here. They were back post double crochet when we did them going down the other way. This time they're front post double again, just 2 of them. And then we need 1 half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches, one of which is a chain. Now this gets a little bit tricky here because the post stitch pulls everything out of the alignment, so you might have to just turn around and look for your half double crochet loops. They are right here at the end of the chain. It's a little bit tricky to see them, you see. There they are. When you're looking at them from the right side, your loops are on the right side for the right-handers. These are not the loops of the half double. These are the loops of the post stitch. So it's a little bit tricky there. Make sure you know what you're looking at. For lefties, it'll be the reverse of what I said for you. So I need to make a half double crochet into the top of my half double crochet, and that's these loops here. Now they've been pulled a little bit out of shape. Oops, well, that didn't help me much, did it? Frayed my thread. I can't get into it for some reason. There we go. Let's try that again. Okay. So there's my half double crochet. If I rotate it, you can see I've made the half double into the half double. There's my loops for that half double. But I still have my chain 2, and this is the danger point, that if you forget now, if you feel like you've made your last half double, you haven't. You've still got the chain 2, which is why those stitch markers are important if you're trying to use them or if you're unfamiliar with these techniques. So now I have to go into the top of my chain 2 for my final stitch, like that. Alright, and that's what it looks like, and that's why I have a straight line now. Alright, now on this end there are 2 stitches. At this end there is only one, the chain 2, which we will catch when we come back around. Right? Chain 2, 2 front post doubles at the start, 2 front post doubles at the end, and 2 full half doubles at the other end, the last one going into the previous chain 2. Look, it may seem like a lot to remember, but trust me, these things become second nature when you've worked enough of these sorts of blankets. So don't panic. Just follow the instructions step by step and listen to me and just do what I tell you and all will be fine. Alright, that's row 4. Last thing you need to do is make your chain 2. 1 and 2 and turn. and we're back to the wrong side again, and you can see the ridges from your post stitches. Alright, okay, finish up and we'll reconvene for row 5. Row 5. Now I have to pay attention here. This is my chain 2, this is my first half double crochet. I need another half double crochet in the second stitch, in the second half double here. There's my loops to the left of it. Remember that? We've flipped now, so the loops are on the wrong side from what you're used to. Those loops are for my half double, not from the post stitch. Okay, next thing we're going to do is make 2 back post double crochet around these 2 post stitches. So 1 around each. 1 back post double crochet, oops, around the first one, and 1 back post double crochet around, it's a little bit hard to work. I'm trying not to rattle with my stitch marker. For those of you who remembered to use them, there's my little stitch marker in the 4th stitch, and I'll need that in a moment. So let's keep going. Now, we're not making shells right away again like we did in the past couple of rounds. What we're going to do next is put 1 double crochet into the first double crochet of the shell. 1 double crochet in there, like that. Then I'm going to put a half double crochet in the second double crochet of the shell, and again being mindful that your loops are on the opposite side of what you're used to on this round. Okay, oops, I think I did a double, didn't I? Let's fix that right now. Put a half double in the second double. Don't worry, I'll pull that stitch marker out in a second. So we have a double in the first one and a half double in the second one. Now we're going to put 1 single crochet, just 1, in the chain 2 space. And now we reverse. We put a half double in the first double of the rest of the shell, a half double, and then in the second double crochet of the shell, a full double. Like that. So we've reversed the order of that. Let me just put it down so you can see it clearly. So we started with a chain 2 here. We put a half double in the next stitch. We did 2 back post double crochet around the post stitches. So we're continuing the theme there. You see? And then instead of doing a shell, we have put a double crochet in the first double crochet of the shell, a half double in the second one, a single crochet into the middle. See how we're flattening everything off here? And then in reverse, half double in the next stitch and a full double crochet in the next stitch. So that whole shell now has been flattened out. Okay, let's continue. Now, we're going to make 1 back post double crochet around the next stitch. Now the next stitch is this first post stitch. Okay, back post double crochet, 1, just 1. And now we're going to skip 2 stitches. That's these 2. The next 2 post stitches are skipped, and that's why you needed the next one marked in case you can't see. If you're using a slightly fuzzier yarn, you may not be able to see. We are going to now make a shell in the 4th stitch. That's what the marker was for. So you 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochet. Like that. So I can pull my marker out now. Get rid of it so it's not annoying everybody. And now we have moved our shells from over here to the center of the post stitches. If you just flip it over, you can see we only made 1 front post stitch, we skipped 2, and in the 4th one, which is the exact center, we've made a new shell. But we're doing it from the reverse side. Okay, so that's your repeat. And you still have to do one more thing. We have to make 1 front post double. We have to skip 2, which is 2 more post stitches, skip, skip. And in the very last post stitch, we're going to make 1 more back post double crochet. Alright, so the repeat starts over here with the flattening of this shell and ends over here with the new shell that has a post stitch on either side of it. You have a let me put it down. You have a post stitch on this side and one on this side, which is more visible when you turn it. Okay, we started over here double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet into the center, half double crochet, double crochet, flattening out that completely. Then we did a back post stitch, which looks like a front post stitch from the front, but it's a back post from the other side. Skip 2, new shell in the 4th, skip 2, and a post stitch, back post, double crochet in that last post stitch there. That's the full repeat. You have to do that one 17 times. So let's just quickly do it one more time. It starts with a double crochet in the first stitch of the shell, a full double crochet, then a half double crochet in the second one. Make sure you get under those top loops, half double, then a single crochet in the chain space, then reverse half double coming out first, and a double crochet in the next one, and that's straightened out the shell. Then we're going to make one back post, back post double crochet in around the first post stitch, back post. Then we're going to skip the next 2 post stitches, those 2, and make a new shell in the 4th. 1, 2, 2 chains and 2 more. 1, 2. Skip 2 more posts, 1, 2, and in the last one a back post double crochet, like that. It's easier to see from the front, obviously, so you can flip your work. There's no problem with flipping it to see what you're doing. But we're working in this direction from the back. Let me get that loop out of the way. So it starts here, double crochet, half double, single, half double, double crochet, back post stitch working from the other side, 1 back post there, skip 2, new shell in the 4th, skip 2, and a final back post in there. So work your way down till you get to the last one. You'll have a final back post stitch in here, and then we need to flatten off this last section. So I'll meet you here and we'll do that, and then we'll turn around. So 17 repeats completed. The last thing we're going to do after making that back post stitch there is level off. So another double crochet in the first double crochet, a half double in the second, a single in the chain space, another half double coming out, reverse order, half double first, and I think I only grabbed 1 loop there. Let's do that again. A half double coming out, and then the final double in there. Alright, and now we're going to make 1 back post double around the next 2 stitches. These post stitches here, 1 back post double in each of the 2. Now be careful here because you do have a chain in there, so don't accidentally catch both the post stitch and the chain. Oh goodness, I'm having trouble myself. Just pinch it, there we go, and pull it through. Okay, and then the last thing we need to do is a half double crochet in the last stitch, which your chain 2 is a stitch. Remember, we've said that many times, it represents. So a half double crochet into the top of the chain, and you're done. Easier to see it from the other side. Whoops. So we're still continuing to have 2 post stitches here, but we have 1 final stitch over there. We have created new shells into the middle and leveled off the other shells. So your final job for the row 5 is your chain 2, and your turn. Okay, and then we're ready for row 6. So get yourself to that point, get done, and we'll reconvene for round 6. Row 6, we have our chain 2 representing our half double crochet. We don't need to worry about that. But now it gets a little bit tricky here. We have to make 1 front post double crochet around each of the next 8 stitches. Now they're kind of hard to see from the back because we are working from the front. Even though we're working from the front, we're looking at the backs of the stitches from the previous row. Okay, we have to be very careful here. So we have to make 8. So let's start. The first 2 are easy. These are these 2 back post stitches from the previous row. So we make a front post double crochet in those 2. Now we have to remember the sequence. We have a double crochet on the outer edge of this shell. So we pick up the double crochet and make a front post double. Then we pick up the half double crochet which went into the second stitch. Pick up the half double crochet, make another front post double. Now we have to pick up the single crochet that is in the center. So get down, you've got to get the whole stitch. Okay, where's the second loop of it? It's way over here. Oops, get out of there. It is a little bit fussy, just till you get the hang of it. Okay, and another one around the half double coming out, the one that went into the first one of these. Get in under there, pick it up, make a front post double crochet, and then one into the double crochet that went into the double crochet. Okay, how many is that? Want to count them out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means we have to put also a front post double in this solitary post stitch here. That's where you end off with your 8. Okay, make sure you've got them all, count them. Okay, now we're going to skip 2 stitches, which is the shell, the first part of the shell, and make another shell. 2 double crochet, that's easy. Chain 2 and another 2 double crochet. 1, 2, like that. And now we're going to skip 2 stitches, which is the other 2 stitches of the shell, and make a front post double crochet in each of the next 7 this time. So here we did 8, but that's just the setup of the side. Here we're going to do only 7. So let's find those, okay, because the repeat starts with the shell. So 1 front post double crochet in each of the next 7. So it starts with the first post stitch, that one that's on the other side of the shell. That's 1. Then we grab the double crochet that was leveling off, that's 2. Then we find the half double crochet, that's 3. Now we need the single, which is over here, that's 4. Back to the next half double crochet, that's 5. Then the double that finishes off the shell, that's 6. And the final post stitch in front of the shell, that's 7, and we're done. So between, all the way down the sides, in between the shells, you will only have 7 post stitches. We had 8 at the beginning, but that's unique, don't get mixed up. 7. You repeat for your post stitches, starts with the first post stitch here and finishes on the other post stitch on the other side. That you should have 7 stitches there exactly. That will help you with the stitch count. If you've got that right, then everything else will be right. Okay, let's just do that next shell. You start here, into the chain 2 space you make your new shell, chain 2 and 2 more double crochet, and then you start with the post stitch, front post stitch into the post stitch. 1, grab the double crochet is 2, then the half double makes 3, then the single makes 4, back to the next half double for 5, the double for your 6th, and the post stitch for the 7th. And that's it. That's the whole repeat. 17 times down the line, which will finish you up in a full-size blanket, will finish you up here in this post stitch just before the last straightened off shell. Alright, so when you get here, we'll finish off this section and chain 2 and turn. Alright, so let me get to there and we'll catch up again. Well, I'm almost there anyway, but I'll see you there. You've got more work to do than I have. Okay, so your final repeat finished there, I should say, and then we have to finish off the side with another shell. I've made that, and your final post stitches. Now at this end again, we're going to have 8. Just like at the very start, we're going to have 8 post stitches, as opposed to the 7 we did all the way down the middle of the row. So 1, that's the double, that's the half double, that's my 3rd, into the single for my 4th, back to the half double for the 5th, to the double for the 6th, and now we have 2 post stitches at the end, just like we did at the beginning. We have 2 post stitches. That's the 7th and the 8th front post double crochet to finish off the side. And then the last thing we have to do, it says make a half double crochet in each of the last 2 stitches, because we have a half double there and a chain. Again, remember, don't forget your chain. So there's the top of my half double. It's going to be a bit hard to get into because it's coming straight off a chain. There's a little bit squishy in there, but that's okay, we'll get it. There it is. 1 half double in the half double and 1 half double into the chain, like that. And that's the end of the row. Last action, chain 2 and turn. And when you turn, it looks gorgeous. Even though it's the wrong side, it really does look gorgeous. This is the beauty of this blanket. It's going to look different both ways, from the front and from the back, but each one has its unique properties, and I think is just as attractive. So this is the back. We have a new set of ridges coming along here with a new set of shells. Alright, so that's round 6. Finish that up and then we'll get ready for round 7. Okay, round 7 is basically virtually identical to round 6, except that we'll be doing back post stitches instead of front post stitches. So we start with our chain 2, which is our first half double. We put a half double into the next stitch, the second half double with the loops. Well, technically they're on the wrong side, aren't they? But actually they are on the right side. Now, we're just going to mimic exactly the same, but in the opposite. Instead of front post stitches, we're doing back post stitches. So we start with 8 on the edges of each side. So there'll be 8, and this time it's easier because they're already pulled open for us by the previous set of stitches. So you just go into each post stitch and there will be 8 of them to kick off the side. I've got 2 more. Oops. So that's my 8 there. My chain, my half double, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 post stitches. Remembering that all your ridges from the post stitch work need to be on the same side on the back. And we're going to make a shell. Chain 2, 2 more double crochet for the shell, 1 and 2. And this is the beginning of the repeat, this shell. And now we're just going to do back post double crochet around the other 7 that are back here, but it's back post from this end, 7. So all the way down the side, except for the edges, it will be 7 back post double crochet. At the start and at the finish, you will have 8 back post double crochet. It's already getting a bit chunky here. We're only up to part 2. So make sure you've got 7 here. Don't catch any of these double crochet of the shells. Please avoid them. We don't want those caught up in this count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back post double crochet, and you start again. A shell and 7 back post double crochet. When you get all the way to the end, you will finish here with your 7th back post double crochet into that stitch. That's the end of your 17th repeat. Then we're going to make 1 more shell, and as I just said, you will have 8 back post doubles to make at this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and you will have only 1 half double crochet. So I'll do the 8 and I'll catch up with you there. So I've made 7 so far. I'll just lift the last one so that we can do that one again together. Stretch it out so you can see it. There it is there. Don't catch the chain. That's my last and 8th back post double crochet for my edge. Everything else in the center sec part of the row is 7. 8 at the beginning and 8 at the end. And at this end I need to put 1 half double in the last stitch, which is the chain. Okay, it's weird the way it looks. There's chain 1, there's chain 2. That is not the chain, that is from the previous post stitch. So find the chain, because if you stick it there, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to have this lump of excess stitches hanging out. You need to catch the top of the chain so that the seam up the side is straight. See? I'll show you. In fact, if I had put my half double into the wrong stitch, which is this stitch over here, let's say I had done that, you can see it's not straight. See how it's curving in a bit? You must catch the chain at the end, not only for the stitch count but also for the look. It will pull that edge nice and straight. See the difference? Okay, so the last thing we have to do is the chain 2 and turn 1 and 2, and then I'll see you again for row 8. Ta-da! Isn't that pretty? Bring it down closer. Okay, see you in a bit. So the last row of Dawn's Bamboo Garden is row 8. We have a chain 2 for our first half double crochet, and now we're going to make 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. It's easy to see them from this angle because they were back post stitches, so they're from the front, they're sitting right on top there. So that's the chain, right? That's my last stitch from before, and that's the chain. Here is my post stitch. My loops are over here. We're making half doubles, not there, here. Find the stitch. Let me just show it to you from the front. See, that's the last half double I made. I don't want that one because the chain represents that one. This is the one I want. So half double crochet where that post stitch is. 1 half double crochet in each of the next 8, which is all the post stitches. That's 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That brings me to the shell. Now what we're going to do here is slightly flatten off the shell. Instead of a double crochet, this time we're going to use a half double crochet in that first double crochet, a single crochet in the next one, so it's not the same as we did last time, a single crochet into the chain space, a single crochet in the first double coming out, and a half double crochet in the second double coming out. Okay, and now we're making a half double crochet in each of the 7 post stitches. That's the last bit of the repeat, so half double crochet in the 7. I'll do those and I'll come back. Now let's start the repeat again. My 7th half double crochet fell into the last half post stitch. Alright, now we start again on the shell. A half double only in the first double crochet, a single in the second, so you have 3 singles coming across, 1 in the second double crochet, 1 in the chain, and 1 in the first double crochet, oops, on the way out. And then we're back to half doubles. Half double crochet in the second double crochet, and now a half double in each of those 7 post stitches going down the side. Alright, I won't do them all. So the tricky bit is after you've done all the post stitches. Here they finish, here they start, where you need a half double at each end of the shell and 3 singles in between. So half double in the first double, single in the second, single in the middle, single coming out, and a half double in the second double. That's the bit you have to remember. They are different stitches to what we did last time when we leveled off down here somewhere. Can't even remember where it is now. Alright, and 7 half double crochet into the 7th post stitches. Get yourself to the last shell, so you'll need to stop here and we'll do one final repeat. Final time, half double in the first double, single in the second one, single in the center, single coming out in, oops, that's a half double, single coming out into the first. So there have to be 3 single crochet in the middle bit. Single, single, single. half double in the last double crochet of the shell, and then half double in the next 8, because remember we have 8 post stitches at the end. So half double crochet in each of those 8, plus we have 2 stitches at the end. So in fact at this end we are doing 10 half doubles, 8 in the post stitches. I'm nearly there, may as well finish. Alright, so that should be 8. I think I've split my yarn. I have. Goodness. Take your eye off the ball and look what happens. So check your stitch counts. Let's see. Did I get 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's my last post stitch there. And then one more each into the half double crochet of the previous round and the chain of the previous round. And that's the only way your stitch count will be correct, if you catch that chain at the end. Excuse me. Alright, so we have 10 half doubles at this end, starting with the post stitches. There is one there, but I'm not counting that as part of the repeat here. But there are 8 plus 2 at this end. At the start though, we only have 8 plus 1. We've got the chain, which counts as 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before we started flattening off the shell. Alright. Use your stitch markers, guys, get that done, and that completes part 2, Dawn's Bamboo Garden, for Sunshine Kisses and Fairy Wishes. I'll finish off here. I'm not going to re-show you across the miles. I won't do that anymore. I will do my across the miles and then I'll rejoin you for part 3. Well, now I've just popped back in before I move on to part 3 because there's something I realized after I left, is if this is happening to you in part 2, I want you not to worry, because remember these post stitches are right on the edge, so they are pulling in. The only thing that you need to know is, can they straighten up? Is there stretch enough that when the border goes on they will straighten? It's just a natural consequence of that post stitch just pulling them inwards, but that's just normal. Okay, so don't panic too much about that. As long as if you try and straighten them up and they do straighten up, then you're good to go. Alright, I just thought I'd alleviate any concerns you may or may not have had about that. Alright, I've finished my part 2 and my ATM. We'll move on to part 3.